What's going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be doing 24 hours with. Before we go over a few specs on the car, we're going to go for a little bit of a drive down the coast, unveil a few of the features, go to a picturesque location, get some cool photos, and I cannot wait to take you guys along for the journey. Okay, so big shout out today, once again to the Lee collection. Lawrence has been kind enough to loan us this car for the 24 hours with videos that we're going to be shooting moving forward. And they have a very, very extensive collection of cars at the Lee collection. Arguably one of the best collections, if not the best collection in the country. They've got supercars, they've got hypercars, they've got SUVs, they've got custom design cars, McLarens, Bugattis, Rolls Royces. There is a very, very special collection of cars there. If you're into your cars, check them out. I'll post a link to their socials and their YouTube channel in the description below. You should definitely go over there and have a look. They have some very, very cool cars, and we've been fortunate enough to get one of these for the 24-hour series, and we have a very special car today. So we'll reveal some details of the car in just a moment. But yeah, big shout out to the Lee collection once again for allowing us to use one of the cars for the day. What is it today? The 2nd of January, 2025. It's a new year. It's a new opportunity. There's a lot to look forward to this year. There's a lot of things on the horizon. The beginning of the year often serves as a time of introspection. It serves as a time of reflection. And for me personally, over the last few days, my wife and I have been doing a little bit of goal setting, and I want to share something about the goal setting which can actually be a really good tip. A lot of people, most of the time, they will set goals in a very specific area, and that area is the financial area. They set goals in the financial area because they perceive that money is the answer to all of your problems. Now, I learned this a few years ago and I've implemented it diligently ever since. When I set goals, I do not just set goals in a financial area. Most of the time, if you spend all of your time and energy chasing the money will more often than not never come. So when you set goals, you need to break down your goal setting into 7 different areas. And the areas are mental, physical, spiritual, social and relationships, career and vocation, financial and lifestyle. And when you do this, you will often find that there will be gaps. So you might actually find that you have a ton of financial goals, and that's okay. It's good to have financial goals. But if you've got nothing in the mental goal, if you've got nothing in the social relationships goal, if you're in a significant relationship and you have a significant other, or you're in a long-term relationship, you should have relationship goals. If you are somebody that is looking to improve your circle, to do a little bit more networking, then you should have social related goals. A lot of the time, people don't take the time to set this, and you spend your entire year trying to chase after a little bit more money. I spoke about this in the Lamborghini video, the ROI on working on your health. You need physical goals. If you don't have any physical goals for the year, you'll burn out. You'll have nothing to work towards outside a monetary setting. And what you'll find is, in the pursuit of some of those other goals, in those other areas that don't necessarily have a financial reward attached to it, in the pursuit of those other goals, you'll notice that the financial reward ends up coming. You'll earn more money, you'll be healthier, you'll be happier, you'll be more connected to yourself, to your partner, to your social circle. You'll have lifestyle related goals that you'll accomplish along the way. You'll have career goals, you'll have spiritual goals. Probably one of the other things to touch on, and this is a good tip, everybody gets stuck with the spiritual goals, right? Having spiritual goals doesn't mean that you need to sit on a rock in a monastery in Tibet and meditate for 19 hours a day. That's not what spiritual means. Spirituality is a very personable thing. So the question you should ask yourself is, what does spirituality mean to me or to you as an individual? And spirituality to me is my connection to myself. When I feel connected to myself, to me, that is a spiritual practice. So then I can go a layer deeper than that, and I can say to myself, okay, well, what do I do that makes me feel more connected to myself? Is it some form of activity? Is it a practice? Is it a regular thing that I engage in? Does it involve, a traveling routine? Does it involve a particular type of exercise or sport? What do I do that makes me feel connected, right? That is a spiritual practice, because ultimately to me, it increases my connection to myself, and that's what makes it spiritual. So it doesn't have to have the woo-woo-ness attached to it. It can just be, what do you do that makes you feel connected? Or define spirituality for yourself and then work out what you can do to bring that spiritual practice into your reality on a more regular basis. And that's how you set goals. Alrighty, so if you haven't already noticed the logo behind the back of my head, we are driving a Ferrari today. It is a very specific type of Ferrari, and in my opinion, this is probably the nicest spec Ferrari of this type in the country. Now, it is a hardtop, it's not a convertible, but it is a track-focused Ferrari. And this is not my first Ferrari drive, but this is my first time driving one of these cars, and this car in particular is rather rapid in comparison with other Ferraris. It is covered in carbon fiber. It is very track focused. It's got a carbon tub. There's no floor mats. You can hear the tapping on the floor. You feel a lot of feedback when you're driving it along the road. Every stone, every bump, it's a very driver focused vehicle. The doors are carbon fiber. There's Alcantara everywhere. The spec is insane. It looks good. It drives good. It is pretty rapid. There is a little something missing. I do think there is something missing. The something missing so far is the drama and the theatrics. I actually think that Ferrari produce a better car. It's quicker, it drives better, it stops better. In this particular car's case, it looks better, but it does have something missing. It's almost too perfect. It's almost like it's too good. It ticks every box perfectly. But the one thing that it is missing is something that I spoke about in the Lamborghini video, which is something that Lamborghini do very well, is theatrics and drama and the sense of occasion, right? Ferrari, some vehicles, yes, but not all Ferraris, and the majority of Ferraris, they do not tick the drama box very well. They do not tick the theatrical box. It's not as much of a sense of occasion as driving a Lamborghini. However, I should preface that by saying that this particular car is a stock vehicle. It has no modifications whatsoever. And as a stock car, it is unbelievable. The Lamborghini we drove in the last video did have an aftermarket exhaust, and it did have an aftermarket VF Engineering supercharger. So it's not really like for like. However, I think in terms of a stock Ferrari, they do need to be a little bit louder. This particular Ferrari is a turbocharged V8, and I would like to drive a Ferrari with downpipes and a tune. I think a Ferrari with downpipes and a tune, if that solves the sense of occasion and the noise, then I would choose this. But I haven't driven one, so it's hard to say, and I'm comparing a stock car with a heavily modified Lamborghini. But first impressions, it's a very cool car, and it looks very, very good. We're driving to a location now to get some nice photographs and videos, and I can't wait to show you guys the outside. The color is unbelievable, so we'll see you there. Alrighty guys, so behind me is a Ferrari 488 Pista. Now, this is not just any Ferrari 488 Pista. As you can see, it is an unbelievably specced 488 Pista. There's a few different options. It's already a very heavily optioned car. You've got the Ferrari Scuderia shields, you've got the stitching on the headrest, you've got the tricolor Ferrari colors on the inside, down the seats, you've got the carbon through the center console with the Italian flag coloring on the race modes. It's incredible. It honestly looks absolutely incredible. Now, the special equipment, which if you're a Ferrari fan, maybe the color is actually not your typical choice for Ferrari colors. It's not really on Ferrari brand, but this particular car is specced with a Hong Kong Viola purple. Now, in my opinion, this could be the best looking Pista in the country. It looks outrageous when combined with the yellow brake calipers and the Ferrari shields on the side. This thing looks incredible. I've just been walking around it for the last 5 minutes, and I'm genuinely struggling to find an angle at any point around this car where it doesn't look good. There's nowhere you can stand here where it doesn't look incredible. Every single thing about this car is draped in carbon fiber. The spec is already very good, and then the special equipment edition of the Hong Kong Viola color scheme. It's outrageous. It's honestly outrageous. Alrighty guys, so we've done a walk around the car, we've taken some photos, we've gone through the specs. It is an unbelievably specced car. Beautiful, beautiful Hong Kong Viola purple. And now it's time to go for a drive. We're going to abide by all of the laws of the road and the speed limits, but we're going to take it out, and something that you could probably have been waiting for is my first reaction of putting your foot down in a 488 Pista. Oh my goodness me, Christ almighty. Oh my God. It's outrageous, isn't it? So let's get to it. One of the things we did want to touch on is the driver modes. So the Ferrari platform has 5 different drive modes. You've got wet, sport, race, CT off, and ESC off. Now, we're not going to have anything to do with CT off or ESC off, obviously, because we're not on a racetrack. But in sport and in race mode, the car will allow you a little bit of play. Now, the drama and the theatrics of the Lamborghini may not necessarily be there, but the speed is definitely there. Now, obviously, within the limits of the speed limits of said roads, we obviously won't be going any higher than that. But in terms of like a first gear pull, you can hear the downshifts. It just, the turbos spool up and then it just wants to go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I mean, less drama, less theatrics, but my God, that's fast. The way that it comes on to boost and the way that it delivers the power is absolutely magnificent. I think if you could solve the noise problem, if you could get down pipes, if you could make the exhaust louder, if you could have the snap, crackle pops and the theatrics on the gear changes, I think a 488 Pista 50% louder than stock could be one of the best cars in the world. It's arguably the best Ferrari ever made. Lots of people like the 812 comp. I like the 812 comp and it looks good, but it's a GT car. It's a front-engined, rear-wheel drive, long bonnet GT car. This is a full-blown supercar. It feels like a supercar when you're driving it. You put your foot down, it moves like a supercar, it drives like a supercar. This is arguably, in my opinion, the best looking Ferrari ever made. Incredible. The Ferraris have a valve in the exhaust that after 3,000 RPM, that valve opens. So you can hear now, it's not very loud in the cockpit, but once you start to drift up above 3,000 RPM, the exhaust valves open and you get that V8 noise, the V8 rumble. As you start to come into the boost, you get the turbo whines and the spools as the turbos start to spool up. It does sound good. I mean, this is a stock vehicle. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. In terms of drivability, yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's sketchy fast. The Lamborghini platform, all-wheel drive, V10, theatrics, noise, drama, it's fun, but it's sophisticated fun. You feel quite safe in a Lamborghini. You feel like you've got traction, you can come through a roundabout. In this, it's sketchy. It's a bit hairy. Oh my God, it's sketchy fast. It's almost like you gotta have your wits about you fast when you drive it. That's a supercar experience. Being in a car that makes you feel like it could kill you is a supercar experience. I like the theatrics and the drama and the difficulty of driving, but when you put your foot down and it scares the shit out of you, that's also a supercar experience. And the Pista delivers power like nothing else I have ever driven before. The way that it comes on to boost, you honestly feel like the further you stay in the RPM range and the further you stay in it, the more you feel like you're on a runway, wings are about to come out and you're going to take off. It sucks you into this vortex when you accelerate. As it's building the boost and as you start to climb higher in the RPM range, it delivers the power. It's like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. I've never driven anything that accelerates like a 488 Pista. Never ever. Oh my God. That Hurricane had a supercharger on it and I think this is still faster. The way that it climbs through the RPM range is outrageous. Wow. I'm a bit speechless. I'm a bit speechless. It's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. It's struggling for traction. The shifts are hypersonic speed. And before you know it, you're just doing the speed limit super quickly. Just 0 to the speed limit really, really fast. Unbelievable. Okay, so we were in sport mode. We do have a race mode button. As I understand it, race mode allows for faster shifts, stiffens up the suspension, and a little bit more play in regards to the traction control settings, which I'm not entirely sure I want to exercise the full capability of. So we might wait until we're in a straight line for that particular section. Being on the freeway helps too, because we can come right up to 100 kilometers an hour and not have to worry about it. But we'll go from second in race mode and we'll roll into the boost. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. The way that it delivers the power. Christ almighty. You know, I said it in the last video, money does not buy happiness, but have you ever banged a couple of gears in a supercar before? I'm pretty happy right now. I'm pretty happy. I'm trying not to smile like a Cheshire cat. If the audio wasn't running, I'd be screaming like a schoolgirl. This thing is a missile. I've never driven anything that accelerates like a 488 Pista. Oh my God. Oh my goodness me. Oh, it's outrageous. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I need a 488 Pista with downpipes, air filters and a chair. I need a 488 Pista. So this particular model was for sale, I think about a year or two ago. You can actually pick up a Pista now for about $800,000. So $800,000 is quite a lot of money, obviously, but for the smiles per miles, I mean, I would never get out of this thing if I owned a 488 Pista. In terms of smiles per miles, you got a lot of smiles per miles for $800,000. The convertibles, the Pista Spider, you'd be looking at over $1 million for a Pista Spider. So depending if you want the hardtop variant or the convertible version, that would obviously bump your price up about $200,000. But yeah, my goodness, I think new these were about $650 to $750 depending on the spec. If you went nuts on the options, I think you could probably bump that up a bit higher, but they have retained their value very well, the 488 Pistas. They've gone up in value. A coupe probably on average $100,000 to $200,000. The Spiders have gone through the roof. It's actually served as quite a good investment. A 488 Pista has been a good investment. A 458 Special has also been a good investment. Yeah, not a bad way to spend $800,000, or in this case, probably $950 for this spec. Just under $1 mil, I would say. Lot of car. I mean, in terms of the Lee Collection fleet, this is up there. A Hong Kong Viola 488 Pista that rips your face off up to the speed limit. Oh my God. It's so well put together. It's so sophisticated. The gearbox is perfect. The shifts are rapid fast. The suspension is ridiculous. The feedback in the steering is off the charts. You come through the RPM range, into gears, and then... Oh my God. I've never driven anything like this before. I've driven a few fast cars. Nothing drives like a 488 Pista. Very, very, very special car. My God. Everything about this car is perfect. It's just too quiet. Everything about this car is perfect. The brakes, the speed, the steering, everything. It's a perfect car. It's just a little quiet. Oh my goodness me. Christ almighty. Oh my God. A 488 Pista is the best driving focused vehicle I have ever driven. Everything about this car is perfect. If you could bump the decibels by 50%, this is the perfect car. That wraps up the end of the vlog. I am blown away. I'm speechless. A Hong Kong Viola 488 Pista is the best car I have ever driven. Everything about this car is perfect. If you ignore the noise, everything about this car is perfect in every way. This is an unbelievable piece of machinery. Unbelievable. Big shout out to the Lee Collection. Thanks for loaning us the car. Incredible piece of machinery. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.